Hello and welcome to Elections Interview 2013 with me, your host, James Binns. Here with me is Ellis, who wants to be your next President of the University of Southampton. Over the next 10 minutes I'm going to interview Ellis. We're just going to have a general discussion, a general chit-chat, break down some of his policies, and then you guys at home can decide if you want to vote for him. Ellis, just tell the people at home, what are your key policies?
Hi guys, nice to be speaking to you. Basically my key policies are making things at this university cheaper by using our budgetary surplus to part buy the cost of goods and services. So not decreasing the quality of goods or buying cheaper goods, but simply having the goods we have now and part buying them so it's cheaper for every student, where it's from minibus hire, food, drink, booze, you name it, to help you out so more students buy more, less per person, so the uni gets more money as a result. So you win by saving more money and buying more stuff for less, and the union wins by getting more money because it's had more money spent on it. Simpler in that I believe some of the committee structures we have now are so outdated and almost like 1980s-esque, in that we're so obsessed, student unions wise, not government, I know Patch is a precious person to you. I won't dare.
Let's not go there.
Simpler in that how these committee structures should be basically empower students, not constrain them so much. We're like in terms of like, too much bureaucracy and too much, just too many layers of unnecessary stuff which prevents you getting on what you want to do. So having that done, a more direct route of getting things done, and obviously that can apply to anything, so I'll describe it later. And smarter, basically there are certain things in this union we're just basically doing wrong. Okay, I mean we have crew who set up events, part of communications and media when they're part of venues. That's ridiculous. Why is that? We have halls, bars losing money, yet at the same time they're given no coordination how to build up their prices. We have certain sabbaticals not being held to account because they're focusing so much on one part of their responsibilities, we get completely neglecting another. And we have societies who here now at this university feel so undone by this union. When you take for example the Chinese who form their own association with the embassy, they completely left. That's why they no one can get in contact with the Chinese society, because they saw no benefit in us, because we thought we operate in such a bad way. And I think we can do so much better by simply taking a step back, bringing some new ideas from outside this union, bringing some real world ideas and kind of looking at it and thinking, okay, that's going to work and do better for students everywhere.
Okay, so the first thing I want to pick up there is you talked about the international students,
yes,
Chinese students in particular. Mm-hmm. Why do you think it is that certain international groups in general don't really feel part of the university, and what would you do to improve that relationship?
Yeah, okay, because that's because I made a big part of my campaign was international students. I spoke to a lot of international societies, a lot of my friends are international students. I think it actually started off when I was looking to, a few of my friends were looking to start a business in the UK, and they weren't able to because Southampton didn't have a graduate entrepreneurship visa, which a lot of Brussels Greek universities have. I was a bit like, well, why is that the case? They've come here, they paid the fees, and we basically paid for them to learn this fantastic information. They want to start a business in the UK, and they've been basically stopped at the last hurdle because the university it doesn't have it there. And I thought, well, why is that the case? And that was kind of my first idea. I thought, what's going on there? It's ridiculous. We have.
So what are you going to do to improve that then?
Introduce graduate entree visa for that thing. But in terms of international societies and what you're kind of talking about in the Chinese, there's always this talk of engagement. I think every year's manifesto is we'll engage them, we'll engage. I think what it basically means is they say, what we'll try and do, we'll try and encroach more on what you're doing, tell you more how to do it, then try and bring you back into our fold.
Okay.
And that in itself just works completely the opposite way and drives people further away, which is exactly what happened with the Chinese. The evidence is there, and
so you want to?
I basically want to give them more power to get on what they want to do.
Yeah.
Basically, for example, the Indian society.
So devolve power, basically.
Devolve power down. Let them go on what they want to do. We don't have to interfere to make them feel engaged. They'll feel engaged by feeling empowered and knowing that we've given them that empowerment. It's like, right, they're helping us now.
Yeah.
And they'll like us for it. It's common sense. You don't hate someone who's trying to help you. So I think the best way to do that is by empowering, not just international societies in general, but international societies, specifically, by devolving power down.
Does that work for? Sort of moving off from that.
Yeah, go on.
Linking off that. Does that link to all societies? Is that your plan for all societies?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Because when I was talking about this, obviously when I was developing manifesto, I kind of realised that societies all around university could take advantage of, where not just societies, like groups, like you could talk about AU clubs, intramural teams, international societies, JCRs, academics, academic classes, society, anything you can think of. I think when I took a step back, you saw, my God, this union is taking so much of a hands-on approach that it's basically not taking the stabilisers off the bike.
Okay.
And I don't think it's good, because I think it's stunting our growth, and I think it's alienating a lot of students.
Okay, so do you want to put more money into societies?
Interesting, because I think some societies do deserve more money.
Like,
I think.
Which one?
Should I name one in particular? Malaysians.
Okay.
That's the international society, because they have no money at all at the moment.
Yeah, okay.
So they do need more money, yet they have a massive membership. And I spoke to the president the other day, and he asked, well, we don't get any money.
Well, where will you get this money from?
Well, that's the whole point it comes back to, whether there's SUSU budgetary surplus. Because I don't want to kind of think, because again, people go like you said, well, where's it going to come from? Where's the money going to come from? It's all well and good making these promises, but I base it on this idea that we have a big surplus. And sure, a lot of it, everyone talks about throwing these numbers around, like £1 million surplus here. And
yeah, they're well out
figures.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I spoke to Sam Ling the other day, I hasn't got it confirmed. Because I don't know if you saw my debate. The figures weren't exactly perfect, but I've got them straightened out now. Sam Ling told me we do have £1 million reserve, but a lot of that money is
well, it's fixed reserves, capital reserves.
Exactly, and a lot of that money is fixed for capital debtors,
and
we've got to pay off our debts for big capital gains projects, but we do have a hefty surplus at the moment, about £100,000 plus. My plan to kind of introduce a stimulus is around £20,000 to £30,000, which in itself would then be decided at committee levels, and we'd talk with student groups what is needed, university staff. There's no point saying these people need, because you run out of money. There are some things that don't need to be lowered in price, but there are certain things which certainly do.
Yeah, I want to link on to that, because if you guys at home, if you haven't watched it, do watch it, the presidential debate.
Please ignore my terrible
Well, the bit that seemed quite controversial, oddly enough, was the bit where you talked about being cheaper.
Yeah.
Why do you think that was so controversial?
Honestly, I think it's because they misunderstood my point.
Okay.
Honestly, in that debate when you watch it, I'll be like, you ask me, so Ellis, what's your least favourite point of Bill's manifestos?
And you were.
And I'm like, honestly, I never read them. I'll hold my hands up. I never read 10,000 words of each manifesto.
But why do you think the cheaper?
And I think the same thing looked at mine, and they thought, cheaper. He wants to make things cheaper. And I don't think they read the full details of what I wanted to do.
Okay.
I think they thought what I meant was to buy cheaper quality goods.
Right. Okay.
And that in itself kind of led to Sophie B's kind of comment on me saying you want to sacrifice ethical standards by buying poorer quality products, and which was completely, I have no idea where that came from. I do not want to do that whatsoever. Okay. My cheaper idea is just a catchy name. It's just which fit in with a little slogan I made. It was a case that it was making things more affordable. Yeah, okay. I should have maybe said stimulus, simpler, smarter, but it sounded quite a bit into it.
Quite so good. No.
So yeah, but is that answer your question? Do you think?
Yeah, I mean, but how are you going to make things cheaper? Though? Is it through the surplus then, or?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of in the short term, it would be by surplus. Obviously, for example, let's take, say sports clubs. Then let's take more specifically, let's take the minibus hire for sports clubs. Now currently that takes £150 for 3 days, and obviously that price is fixed right now. Now you get a surplus, or rather a stimulus, from that surplus, you basically use that money to part pay for it. Yeah. So the surplus is technically part pay for that cost of that product. So say it paid half the price. Yeah. So that minibus now, instead of costing £150, costs £75. Nothing's been changed. All that's happened is that stimulus has been put down and is part paid for it.
And would you keep the rest of the stimulus though, sort of the 80,000?
Oh yeah, no.
Would you save that for bigger capital projects, or?
Honestly, everyone talks about big capital projects. I think that's the big buzzword around elections. Honestly, I think it's good to have financial security, and that surplus. It's up to us to decide what we want to do with it. Students as a whole, I don't know what will need to be spent on in the future. I don't know the immediate kind of concerns. There's concerns about performing arts spaces, a new gym. These things that we can't take into consideration, but obviously that stuff would go back into a bigger pot.
And how are you going to communicate with students about this sort of thing?
What, in terms of the policies stuff? If I was
well, yeah, I mean, because a lot of the candidates have talked about
communication.
The communication, and the student council not being the best way. I mean, what do you think?
Best way, honestly, I need to make it clear now. A sabbatical question time every week, every Wednesday, 1 PM on that not on the red brick outside if it's raining on the concourse. as direct as possible, the most high traffic area in the whole university. Sabbaticals will be there to ask any and all questions students want to ask them.
Excellent.
I think that's the most direct way you can possibly do it without basically sitting in an office all day.
Okay, fair enough. Well, thank you for that, Ellis.
No worries,
That's
James. Thanks
very
very
good.
much. Cheers.
I hope that's been some use to you. Ellis, do you want to just have a final say, tell them at home why exactly they should vote for you?
Hi guys. I think you should vote for me if you think I'm the right candidate. Obviously, it's up to you at the end of the day to read my manifesto, see me as a person, how you think I come across, and then make your decision from that. So at the end of the day, it's your choice, but I'd absolutely love for you to vote for me because I think I'm the only candidate who's offering real radical change to this university, which is outside the simple ideas of the union. It's about every student, and I think that's the most important thing.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
Again, thank you for joining us. Catch the next debate. If you want to have a look at any of the other candidates' manifestos, just check out www.susu.org/elections.
Lovely.
So in the meantime, have fun and join us next time.
Bye.